Welcome to another week of the Tuck Shop Podcast. We're working our way through the summer series here, and usually that means we've planned ahead, but sometimes it means we don't plan ahead because it's us.
You definitely didn't plan ahead.
No, we didn't. David is taking some well-earned vacation time because he has to or he loses it. Because he works very hard for us at the alumni side of things.
I know how he feels.
That I work hard, or you work hard, or you have
No,
to
that
take...
I also have vacation time that I need to take or I will lose it.
Okay. So I looked around
The house?
the house, and I found an alum. Sarah, thank you for joining us again. You've been on the show a bunch of times.
Sure.
But,
Glad to be here.
Well, yeah, you live here, so you kind of don't have a choice. But I thought, hey, you'd get on and we could talk about some of the cool stuff coming up that's just on our calendar, and then we will have a great interview that actually I went back pretty far in the archives. We're in the mid 100s-ish for this episode, and we're going to talk and listen to our episode that we recorded with Jeff Kubay, who's on our alumni board, back in like episode early 40s something. So pretty far back, pretty early in the cycle. So hopefully everyone's enjoying the summer series as we've been putting those out. We're working on something. The next week will be our 4th of July episode, so we always have something cool to talk about for there, and then we'll continue going. We're preloading some interviews for the fall. We actually, David and I, before he left, had a very good conversation that almost an hour, we recorded with an alum from 1972 the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, pretty cool. So again, that's one of those things. If you're like, hey, I got a cool story, or you have something neat you're working on,
Or you know someone you think has a cool story.
yeah, that's probably more likely because people tend to not to underestimate the cool stuff they do.
Yeah. People in general are humble.
I have no experience with that.
I'm aware.
Yeah. So anyway, if you like the banter, by the way, you could listen to, I'll link our podcast down below as well, that Sarah and I do together. But send a note. My email's in the listing. David's email's in the listing. Send us a note. We're always looking to talk to alum. This is thinking about this. This is effectively the recorded history of our alumni stories.
I mean, because it's crossed so far, you've had different decades, different majors, different, just different things that people did with those majors.
Very much so, yeah.
It's crossed a wide span of different things that are all pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with how it's come and worked together, and I'm glad, and we want you to be a part of it. So we'd love for you to come out and connect and send us a note, and we'll schedule something up. And you don't have to be local, by the way. Well, I'm completely set up to do Zoom and video call and phone and stuff, so we can make that work out for you without a problem.
Do you have a preference over Zoom or Teams?
No one likes Teams. No one likes Teams.
Well, you never know.
No, I do know. No one likes Teams. Anyway, so that's it. We got some cool stuff coming up. You're going to see here, if it's not out already, by the time this goes live in the next day or so, we are going to have a UPJ alumni night. This is everybody, any alum, with the Altoona Curve. So July 31st, 6 o'clock, the Curve are playing. We're going to have a pavilion, so you can get something to eat, hang out, meet some people, see the game. Tickets are $15. The alumni, we as the association are kind of subsidizing this. They're limited to 50 people. So what you're going to see right now when you go to our social media, the Facebook page, LinkedIn and stuff, is a notification page. This is where you sign up to get a notification. When registration goes live, anyone who signed up will immediately get an email from us. And first 50 get to go. So you want to make sure you're signed up for your notification as soon as possible. And then as soon as registration's ready, it'll be sent out. But again, that is the July 31st. Altoona playing. It will be over at the Curve.
So what the best option would be, keep an eye on Facebook, keep an eye on
social media. That might
LinkedIn.
even be, might be out by now, by the time this goes live or in the next day or so. Because I already have it built. I just, depending on how fast we get it out on social media. So that's association-wide. I still want to plug geosciences. If you're a geology, geography, GIS person, major, minor, you're a fan, environmental science and studies, any of those departments that you were a part of, we're doing as a department, my department, we're doing Pirates Night at the middle of August. So that link will be down below as well. So you could come to either. You could come to both. We'll be going to both.
And in case you're like, the Pirates, they are playing who?
They are playing Boston. And if anyone who knows the department well enough will tell you that Dr. Kerrigan is a big Boston fan. So he's already spent this summer talking some smack, which is great because I don't think either team's doing really well. So it
good.
should be.
So we have a chance.
We have a chance as the Pirates, and I think it has a chance to, two crummy teams playing, still make a good game. No one's getting blown out or anything. It's equal weights.
Right.
So I'm hoping it's cool. So that's down below. But again, that's just, even if you attended a class, you remember you just want to hang out with some people, or it's more convenient for you. We're doing that. We're still celebrating our new department with everyone coming together. And it's been really exciting. So those are a couple of things that are coming up. We had orientation, academic planning day. Now, we all knew it as orientation back in the day.
It's still orientation.
Yeah. But it was good. I saw a bunch of people. You worked the alumni table.
I did. It was fun. They had us upstairs.
Yeah. So
at Blackington.
If you're coming, that's where to look for us. We'll have a table during the office fair again because there's another event next week. Before the first of, it's June 30th or something, and then one in the middle of July. If you're coming on campus, if you're an alum, come find us. If you're bringing your son or your daughter to look around campus to think about coming, find the alumni table. Come see us. We'll have something fun to give you. We always do.
Yeah, and also I think for those that are interested, if you're not aware, they had closed the bookstore a couple years ago, and they've been doing little pop-up shops. So if you're in need of a new hoodie or bucket hat or umbrella, you can also stop by on those days in Blackington, and they'll have stuff for you there too.
Yeah, so that was real cool. You wanted a hat.
Yeah. And a teddy bear for Mia.
Yeah, we got our niece a teddy bear. Actually, Gabriel dug that out from the way back. So thank you to him as he, I think they listen down there at the conference center. I still want to get them on the show at some point to promote some of the stuff they do. But we will get to that at some point. Anyway, so a lot of cool stuff going on. Again, it's summer. You think, hey, we're shut down and nothing's really going on. We're busy. We're going. We're starting to talk about stuff for the 100th anniversary coming up next year. So there's a lot of cool things going on. But that's why it's good. David can get some rest and relaxation and for a couple days here, and hopefully come back ready to go, ripping and roaring, and because we don't have, term starts pretty quick. And I think 4th of July is kind of the end of, we're back into it pretty quick.
Month and a half, 2 months?
No, it's the first day of classes is August 24th.
Well, that's almost 2 months.
Okay.
It's June 23rd.
Yeah.
That is exactly 2 months from tomorrow.
Yeah, when this airs. That's not long when you're trying to get everything else together. So, anyway, thank you, dear, for jumping on and helping us out.
Sure.
And thank you all for continuing to support us. Hopefully you're enjoying, like I said, the summer series. If you think about it, share this out. Share it with a friend. Maybe the people, our numbers are great, and we're seeing amazing coverage for listeners. And I know we got a lot of folks out there that really are liking it. And it's kind of interesting to think that we made it over 100 episodes so far, and we're already got a big chunk of next year already kind of starting to get laid out. So we're going to keep going, and it's all because of you all out there, and we really appreciate it. So let's go listen to an interview I did a while back with Jeff Kubay. Speaking of that audience, I cast my net upon the riches that are the alumni, and I was able to, for our show today, bring in Jeff Kubay. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Matt. How are you? Thank you for having me, for inviting me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm glad to have you. What year did you graduate?
1992.
92. So prior to Blackington Hall?
Yes.
LLC was not there yet, PPAC. So you have 92 for us doesn't seem that long ago, but it's also kind of that long ago.
Sure. To put it in perspective, during my senior year, we had the dedication of the Wally Chapel and the PPAC,
Okay.
both during my senior year. So,
Did you go to either of those events?
I did. I was
Oh,
serving
nice.
as student senate president at the time. So I got to speak at both of those dedications. It was a wonderful time. It was a great experience, meeting all those people. Um, the fall when the PPAC was dedicated, they had a big opera gala, which was an amazing event, a lot of fun, a lot of dignitaries. The Pascarillas were there. It was a wonderful event. It was really an exciting time that year in particular. So
You kind of got to go out on a high note when you're graduating and you get these new buildings, and that's kind of a
absolutely,
fun little history there for you.
sure.
What did you study?
Political science and a certificate in international studies.
So let's start at the very beginning. You're looking at schools. Did you only look at UPJ? Did you look other places? What eventually settled you on UPJ and coming here?
I really focused on UPJ. I was a graduate of Richland High School, which, of course, as you know, is right across the road. Or at the time, Richland Senior High School was the building that is now Penn Highlands.
Yep.
So I played tennis on campus at UPJ. I ran cross country for Richland, so we utilized the Pitt Johnstown cross country course. I loved the campus. I loved the institution. I was a Pitt fan. It was really the only school that I wanted to go to. And I was fortunate enough to get a partial academic scholarship, and that made the decision pretty easy.
Did and it's nice because you and I have had this conversation a little bit, that you and I kind of mirrored that same thing. Me going to Richland, coming across the street.
Yep.
I will tell you, still holding a faculty seat at Penn Highlands, being back in that building teaching is a little wild.
I bet.
To say the least. All the lockers are now gone. They're just benches. They took them physically out and just have the holes, so they plastered up real nice, and you just sit in benches that used to be lockers. Those little narrow metal deals. Did you always know you were going to do political science?
I did not. I came to UPJ undeclared. It was on my radar. It was an interest of mine. Had thought about law school potentially after UPJ. It was a kind of a major that meshed with that area, of study. So I can't say what else I was considering. Maybe geography.
Nice.
Right up
We're going to
your
talk
alley.
about you being in a famous picture in a little bit.
Right,
But
exactly. My brother was a geography major, my older brother. So that was an interest of mine. history, but political science was really on my radar too. And I had an excellent professor, my very first class at UPJ, first semester, Dr. Alexander. Great professor, and he really ignited my passion for political science.
Jim's one of those threads that go through so many of these conversations. And it's funny that it can be somebody who's been on the show. Our co-president, John Wozniak, had Jim Alexander in the late 70s. You in the early 90s had Jim Alexander. I sat and talked to him 20 minutes in the office yesterday because he's still there teaching today.
That's
so
wonderful.
It's one of those things where I think the universe that campus at this point just flows around the history of Jim Alexander in a kind of a cool way.
Sure.
So that kind of settled your decision, saying, "Hey, this is nice. I like this. I like these people. Let me go into political science."
That did. It was American Political Process with Dr. Alexander.
It's 10 o'clock right now, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
Yeah. 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. This one's 10 o'clock now, but Jim's a little older. But that's a really cool background, and really cool story. You mentioned thinking before you came in about thinking law. For those who don't know, what do you do in your day job?
I am a lawyer.
Okay.
I practice law in Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh, with a firm, Wayman, Irvin, and McCauley, and mainly do litigation, a lot of insurance defense, but also some estate planning. I started out as really a general practitioner, but then kind of narrowed my areas of concentration. So.
Did that the law side of it also come with deciding on the political science and saying, yeah, I kind of solidified that path to law? Or at some point did you think any of the other fields you could do with political science that you may have wanted to go? We have poli-sci folks that are working at the state government and federal government and everything. Was that a consideration, or is it like, okay, this kind of settles law for me?
It was a consideration, and that's a wonderful thing about a political science major. Yeah, there may not be a lot of opportunities right out of college, but there's a lot of different paths you can take. And one of the other ones I considered was going on for a master's in human resources or labor and management relations. I had some fraternity brothers go that route, and that's been a wonderful route. I've had some friends go into the graduate school of, I think it's Gaspia Public Affairs here at Pitt. Those were all kind of on my radar, but I go back to Dr. Alexander. I took a number of pre-law type of classes with Dr. Alexander. One in particular, I think, was it was a constitutional law based class. He taught it in the Socratic method, which is a famous teaching method for law schools. I enjoyed that teaching method, and he taught it so well, and that ignited my passion for the law, which kind of was the reason I applied for law schools in my junior year.
You mentioned fraternity brothers. What fraternity were you in?
I was in Acacia.
Okay, so Acacia, what was that like? We've talked to a handful of different fraternity representatives, alumni-wise. Had a couple of the Delta Chi guys on and stuff like that. But I think you might be our first Acacia.
Okay.
What was that kind of like? How did that work, and what was that experience?
It was fun. I don't know if I would have considered becoming a fraternity brother if it had not been for my older brother. I was kind of like a legacy. He was not only my biological brother, but my fraternity brother. He was a senior when I was a freshman and pledged, and it was a good decision because I've made some lifelong friends. one of my friends, Pat Flynn, he was in my wedding, and he is
Mm.
my daughter's godfather. So I forged some lifelong relationships because of that connection. And he was a political science major as well, and he went on into the human resources side of things. Used his degree for that.
And Acacia just had a reunion a year and some change ago, I guess, at this point. Maybe about a year.
I do. I understand that. I wasn't in
You didn't get to.
attendance for that, though.
And Acacia is one of the fraternities that's scheduled to come back
Yes,
now on.
that's what
And
I
have
hear.
you heard much about that, or just the
I
kind of
have
the know
not
it's
heard.
happening?
I have not heard much, but on Facebook, I'm seeing some activity on the Acacia Pitt Johnstown page. So I'm thinking that's kind of in the forefront. It's upon us.
Well,
So
that's exciting always to see those groups that history, and
sure,
it has to be kind of rewarding for everyone in your position to see that
sure,
coming back.
absolutely.
You hinted at the experience at your final year, your senior year, with the events and stuff. So at some point, you worked yourself onto student government. Was that the
I
love
did.
of political science, and you're like, it kind of makes a natural sense that I'm gonna go try my hand at being on the student body government?
I I did. I ran for a Senate position my freshman year. Somehow got elected, became involved, and sophomore year became the allocations committee chairperson, and eventually ran for president and was elected for my senior year. So, and that was an amazing experience, working with the student body, working with uh, administration. Just a great
Because
experience.
I'm trying to remember who'd be on the administration side back in '92.
It was Dr. Schaefer.
Was it Lowell?
Yep. And I worked a lot with him as well as Bruce Hasselrig.
Bruce
It
is
was
actually a big part of this media, music, and more reunion
great,
coming up. He's
great.
part of that committee, so yeah, he's been help. Those are just some of those classic names that everyone knows. With
Yes,
if you had that 35-year window, that guys like Jim Alexander and Lowell Schaefer and Bruce Hasselrig, just love it, love it.
absolutely.
So you were surprised when you won, though, as a freshman.
Um, yeah, I didn't do a whole lot of advertising, wasn't sure. I was a commuter, so I don't know if I, knew enough people on campus to get elected, but I got elected, and it was a great experience for me. I was a member of COGS. Is COGS still a organization?
I'd have to go and look at the list, to be honest. Like
Okay.
I get exposure to the organizations that I am in academic departments for. So geography,
Okay.
environmental science, business club, things like that. It's been a while since I've heard the name, but
Okay.
doesn't necessarily mean that they are gone. But that's kind of neat. That has to be really exciting. I think one of the coolest things that you ever got to do with me, you and I, because we've worked together now at the alumni side of things for 10 years, probably. You are in a picture that has made the wall in Blackington. There's a picture from probably your sophomore year, you think? Your senior year? Like,
Maybe my junior year, and it was from a photo shoot for some promotional materials back in probably 1991-ish. Over the summer, I was on campus during the most of my summers, working as an assistant conference coordinator. So um, whoever arranged this would, I guess, the
just
admissions
grabbing
office
students, anybody who you look young
was
enough,
on
you look like
campus.
get on there because you just happen to be a human body that's on campus.
Right. Yep.
I've been through those. But it's this historic picture of probably half the books that are still in my office, and a mustache wearing Bill Corey and a very young Jeff Kubay, and you
Yes.
guys are pretending to look at something,
Something on his desk.
and there's that. It's part of the picture history mural in the entrance of Blackington, and I
Right.
never knew that was you.
Yep. And a interesting side note to that, I was on campus a couple years ago, and it was right after Dr. Corey had passed. Living in Pittsburgh, I didn't know that,
Okay.
and it wasn't brought to my attention. But I was on campus for my daughter's dance competition at the PPAC, and between routines, I wandered over to Krebs Hall. It's a great campus to walk around anytime.
Sure.
And this was in the spring, and I'm looking at that mural in Blackington Hall, and it was also the day of commencement. And Dr. Spector was returning, I guess, from the commencement proceedings, and he was in his robe, which he would wear to the commencement. And he came down the hall, and I said, "Oh, hi, Dr. Spector." And I was looking at the mural, and I pointed out to him, "Hey, this is me 30 some years ago with Dr. Corey." And that's who let me know that Dr. Corey had passed, was Dr. Spector.
Oh, that's how you found out.
He said, "Oh, you didn't know?" And no, I didn't know. And this was just within like a week or two of his passing.
Because that would have been in early April. So yeah,
Yes.
graduation would have been 3 weeks,
Right.
3 weeks later.
Yeah, late April, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of ties that history there. But that was neat the day you showed me that and kind of could
Yeah.
point out and kind of answer that little bit of fun historical
Right.
question to it. So you had student government. You had your interest in poli-sci. You're looking at law school. When you think back to that, what do you think's changed for UPJ students today? The biggest thing you think is different, because you kind of have the right age of children who are in
Right.
college, and
Right.
do you even think about just as the industry as a whole? You say, "Wow, that would have been completely different in my day."
Well, I think there's a lot more educational programs at UPJ today, a lot more opportunities for working outside the classroom, internships, things like those, I had a lot of opportunities and took advantage of a lot of opportunities. But I think in terms of coursework and working out in the field, I am really impressed with how UPJ has developed those programs. So I think the students today have that they can take advantage of. And as you know, UPJ's continued to add programs, continued to add facilities. It's remarkable. So I think that's been a development, not so much a change, because I don't think we were behind back in the late 80s and early 90s. It's just we've continued to grow, and it's just a world-class university and college.
It's kind of nice to sit and listen to the group outside my office talk about, and it's the same discussions we had. They're nervous and freaking out about the test they're having with Jim Alexander in an hour or something. Or
Right.
complaining, he gave me enough credit on that. I don't know. I'm so or what are they getting for lunch? Or it's just kind of like that. Some of those cool things that transcend generations. It's really, really special. Jeff, I'm so thankful that you had some time to sit down and tell us your UPJ story, and kind of how you leverage that and become this amazing representative out there in the world for everything that UPJ works for.
Sure, I appreciate the invite and love talking about UPJ. So let's
Great.
do it again sometime.
I think, especially since I know your brother, I'm going to have to get him on. And then we'll do both of you together at one go, and the third episode would kind of let you guys duel back and forth, which is the better the better social science degree.
Yep.
Jeff, again, thank you so much. We appreciate you jumping on the show.
All right. Thanks a lot, Matt.
And I want to thank all of you for listening and downloading, and keep it up. Share it with everyone you got and everyone you know, and we will listen and talk to you next week. The Tuck Shop podcast is recorded live on the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown campus. Update your contact information with us by visiting johnstown.pitt.edu/alumni. Connect with us online via Facebook and LinkedIn, or consider donating to the university at give2, that's giveto.pitt.edu/giveupj.
This has been a production of Quantum Wave Media. Views expressed do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown.